Yo, what's good, YouTube? ZAMCRO here, aka Scoop, back with the actually some new content. We got some more Draft League tour content. We've signed up for the Brawl for All, and we were, what's the word, accepted, I guess. And there's quite a bit of draft pools and stuff like that. I'm not even sure how many, at least 30 draft pools or something like that of 10 players each, something like that. I was in pool 10. I had the 10th pick of 10. I had the last pick. I think it was 10th of 10. But regardless, as you see on screen, I have my whole squad. We got an 8-man draft here, where I've drafted Garchomp, Clefable, Nidoqueen, Bronzong, Licky Licky, Oricorio, Chestnut, and Mega Alakazam. So a really fun squad. It looks to be fun anyway. I have things like Garchomp can be defensive, can be offensive, can be physical, special, can be mixed offensive, can be like a Rocky Helmet, rough skin set. It gets some cool text like Endure. Um, I am allowed to run Z moves on 2 Pokemon, and I had 140 points to spare or something like that. And Garchomp was one of my Z move users, and I can use status Z moves. So I do have the option for things like Z Sandstorm, which would give me a speed boost. Also, obviously, have things like Tectonic Rage, Continental Crush, Devastating Drake, things like that. Inferno Overdrive. Gets really cool. It has a really cool speed tier at base 103, I believe. Tops out at 333, outpaces, base 100s, base 101s. I think it's base 102 actually, for Garchomp. Has like solid bulk on both sides of the spectrum and has an insane attack stat. It's so strong. Garchomp's one of my favorite Pokemon of all time as well. Um, I skipped out on a lot of gens throughout like middle school and high school and stuff like that. I was focused on sports and football and stuff like that. If you guys don't know, the football team I played for, we ended up having, in my 4 years of high school, we had a record of 50, 52 and 4, where we lost. Well, we went undefeated my freshman year of high school, and we lost in like the second or third round of playoffs to the team that went on and won the state championship. So that's not too bad. Of course, we would have liked to have won. However, my sophomore year, we went 15-0, won the state championship, which was awesome. One of the best feelings I've ever had in my entire life. No doubt. It was awesome. The brotherhood's insane. My junior year, I actually missed, I think, the first 3 games of the season with a quadricep injury. I had a really, really serious leg injury, and I was told I may be wheelchaired. Ended up coming back though, and we had I think, a 12-2 record that season. Might have been 13-2. We lost our season opener versus the Tennessee state champions in our cross state, you know, season opener there. That was pretty cool, despite losing, And then we lost our last game of the regular season. It was tough. I think the score was 13-10. Man, that was a tough one. Lost by a field goal in the fourth quarter or something like that. It was tough. It was tough. And then my senior year, we went undefeated and got all the way to the semifinals. And we had a lot of turnovers and ended up. Actually, I don't even know why I'm talking about this. I had sports on my mind. I skipped. I didn't play after Generation 3. I quit playing after Generation 3, so I missed Generation 4 and 5. And then I got back into Pokemon in Generation 6 when X and Y came out and learned about competitive Pokemon, and it was so cool. And then the Draft League stuff was even cooler. So that's why I'm here. I love the Draft League. I love Pokemon and stuff like that. But when I saw Garchomp for the first time in my life, Garchomp was so cool. Like, this thing it's not only a dragon, but it's a damn shark, and it's on the land. It looks like a jet, and its competitive use is insane. I remember when I first started using Garchomp a lot of people said, hey, the previous gen, this thing was getting banned. This thing was so good it was getting banned with the sand veil and stuff like that. So cool. Clefable, it's a staple on OU for quite a while now. Gen 6, Gen 7 as well. Has an amazing pure typing and just pure fairy type. Has 2 awesome abilities in Magic Guard and Unaware. It gets access to Stealth Rocks. As you can see, the top 4 Pokemon I have on the top row, they all have access to stealth rocks, which is awesome. Garchomp gets rocks, Clefable gets rocks, Nidoqueen gets rocks, Bronzong gets rocks. So none of them are ever pressured to run rocks because I have such a, half my team gets rocks, so none of them are pressured to do that. Clefable also gets really good coverage. It gets like things like Thunder, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Fire Blast. Um, can hit some things that could otherwise check it if not for its coverage. It gets Calm Mind, Cosmic Power, Moonblast, Wish, Protect is really nice. Pass wishes off to the rest of my squad and things like that. It gets Soft Boiled too, so I have immediate recovery. I don't have to protect and allow something to potentially set up on me or sub up or, just switches in general and catch momentum or anything like that. I don't have to worry about that. And yeah, so I thought Garchomp and Clefable would be two pretty good picks together. I think Clefable, an unaware Clefable is one of the best checks to a Garchomp, especially if it's like a setup variant. Obviously, if it's like a choice band Garchomp, Clefable is not a check, but I don't have to worry about that either way because I have both of them. Of course, this is one draft pool, so there is a possibility that I get matched up in the battle pools versus other people that have Garchomp or Clefable or even Mega Alakazam, Chestnut, whoever, whatever it may be. Anyways, my third and fourth picks were Nidoqueen and Bronzong, two more Stealth Rockers, two more Mons that are really solid versus Clefable, and they aid Clefable as well, being able to. Nidoqueen, for example, can take poison type attacks. Bronzong takes steel type attacks pretty comfortably. Bronzong actually rounds out my Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Garchomp, Clefable, and then finally Bronzong. I think Bronzong is as much as it's used and as well as it does in pretty much every draft league I've ever seen, I still think it's underrated. I think it's a premier steel type as well as a bulky psychic type. The thing gets a lot of cool techs like Recycle, Eopa Berry. See, that's a cool set. I just saw that in the ITL recently. Not that I didn't know it got that, but I watched it used to success, despite a little RNG and stuff like that. But nonetheless, used to success. It was an Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Recycle, Eopa Berry set. So cool, so cool. But yeah, Bronzong and Nidoqueen, I'm very comfortable with my first four picks. I couldn't be more comfortable. I love those Pokemon. And then Licky, it has been a phenomenal backbone for most of my squads over the past couple drafts, all of 2018. I've been spamming Licky really, to the point to where when people see me draft it, they're like, "Oh, not again, man! You don't use nothing. You don't use anything different." Well, that's okay. Like, I didn't have access. If I had access to everything and I could just handpick my entire squad before anybody else drafted, perhaps you would see me use something different. Perhaps. But when I'm making use of what's available and what I'm comfortable with using, and I want to perform well in these tournaments, then I'm going to draft what I'm comfortable using. So anybody that's got a problem with me using the blobs, Clefable and Licky over and over and over, go fuck yourself. Anyways, next up we got the God, Oricorio. This thing is 4 Pokemon in one. It's not only a fire type, but it's also a ghost type, it's also a psychic type, and it's also an electric type. And with all those typings, it always has a secondary typing of the flying type. It has Calm Mind, Swords Dance, Baton Pass. This thing is amazing, really. It has Revelation Dance, which takes your primary typing and makes a base 90 power special attack move out of it, which is really cool. And then it has some other cool moves too. It gets Roost, so I have Wish or Soft Boiled on Clefable, Wish on Licky, and now Roost on Oricorio. And on my next Pokemon I have Synthesis and Recover on Chestnut and Mega Alakazam respectively. So I have all kinds of reliable recovery, things like that. And Oricorio it's a god. It's one of the best low tier Pokemon. It's up there with Ditto. What are some other really solid low tier mons in my opinion? Licky, Oricorio, Ditto, Mismagius, and things like that. I love low tier mons that can put in the work, that can always be an X factor, and that's the reason I drafted this bad boy. So that's that. So Chestnut, if you look at my squad, I don't have like, well, I do have responses to ground type Pokemon, but I don't want to rely on Levitate. See, if you took something like, if my team was weakened enough, and you had an Excadrill, a Scarf Excadrill, or a Scarf Mamoswine or something like that, spamming an Earthquake versus my team is really really easy. Um, especially if I don't bring Oricorio. So being able to bring Chestnut, a fat grass type, it's not fast, but it is fat. So it's actually one of my favorite grass types. And like I said, I got back into competitive Pokemon. I mean, I got into competitive Pokemon and back into Pokemon on X and Y, and my starter was Chespin. Yeah, I bypassed the little Firefox and the little baby Greninja for Chespin, and I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. Like it was it was so cool. I don't think I had picked a grass type since the last time I played, which was in Emerald, picking Trico, which was awesome as well. Um, but yeah, Chestnut gives me spikes. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, it gets access to synthesis. So now I have ways to set up stealth rocks and spikes, which is really nice. It gets spiky shield, which is pretty cool. It's like king shield, but it gives off damage. It doesn't give an attack drop, but it does give off a little bit of like iron barbs or rough skin damage there. It's pretty cool like that. And like I mentioned, it's a fat grass type, but it's also a fat fighting type. So it's a nice switch in on dark types for Mega Alakazam. I don't always have to rely on Clefable to switch into dark types, because I can use Chestnut to do that. And it also gets some cool, it has some cool sets you can use, like Belly Drum Salic Berry, Sub Belly Drum with the Salic Berry, and like Drain Puncher Seed Bomb like that. That's really cool. And last but not least, we have the mascot, none other than Mega Alakazam. I was looking at my squad and I didn't have any immediate speed, no real cleaners on the squad unless I am, relying on like Scarf Garchomp or something like that. So I picked up Mega Alakazam. It wasn't necessarily in the game plan, but sometimes it just be like that. And yeah, I picked this bad boy. I really, if I'm not facing something like Mega Beedrill or Mega Aerodactyl, I don't ever have to run a timid nature. I can run modest and spam those powerful psychic type attacks. And Mega Alakazam gets amazing coverage. It gets Shadow Ball to hit other psychic types. It gets Focus Blast to hit dark types, which is really nice. And for steel types, you can always run Hidden Power Fire, especially if they're 4 times weak, like a Scizor, Mega Scizor, or a Ferrothorn, maybe, and things like that. But it also gets some cool support moves too. It gets Taunt, Thunder Wave, Encore, Recover. It also gets Miracle Eye, which is really cool. So yeah, Mega Alakazam is one of my favorite Pokemon too. I'm really comfortable using the bottom 4 Pokemon. I'm not so much comfortable using Oricorio and Chestnut just yet, but I am getting really close to being super comfortable with Oricorio, knowing calcs off the back of my hand and things like that. Super comfortable with the rest of my mons though, outside of Chestnut. But again, Chestnut's not one of those Pokemon that's hard to use. It does a couple things really well, and that's just about it. And it has a pretty cool ability in Bulletproof. Things about abilities too. Garchomp gets 2 amazing abilities: Rough Skin and Sandveil. So if I use Z Sandstorm and I get the Sandveil, and I have the Sandveil ability, then my opponents may miss me completely. I might not even take damage. Like I mentioned earlier, I went over it explicitly with Clefable. It gets Magic Guard and Unaware, 2 amazing abilities. Nidoqueen gets, I think, Rivalry, which is okay, but it also gets Sheer Force and Poison Point, 2 amazing abilities. Bronzong gets Levitate and Heat Proof. I can negate one of its weaknesses by using one of its abilities, which is amazing. Licky gets Oblivious, so I can't be taunted. I can always use Wish. I can always throw off a Toxic. I can always click Protect. and things like that, which is awesome. It has an awesome moveset too: Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Knockoff, Earthquake, Gyro Ball, things like that. Oricorio has an amazing ability. I think it's really, really overlooked. If you switch Oricorio in on a Quiver Dance, and, you know, somebody's using Vocal Run and goes for Quiver Dance, and you switch Oricorio in, and you have the regular Oricorio that you see on screen, the fire type, your fire flying type, so you can eat up the bug buzz, you can eat up the fiery dance. But when you switch in and somebody does a Quiver Dance in front of you, and you have the dancer ability, which is Oricorio's only ability, you get his boost. You get the Dragon Dance boost. You get the Quiver Dance boost. Any kind of dancing move, Swords Dance, you get the Swords Dance boost if somebody Swords Dances in front of you. If somebody dances in front of Oricorio, Oricorio gets the same boost, and that's so amazing to me. That is so cool. And Chestnut gets bulletproof, so Mega Alakazam's not so pressured by things like Shadow Ball, because I can always switch in. You don't know if I'm going to switch into my Licky Licky and you click Focus Blast or something like that, or I switch into my Chestnut and I'm immune to the Shadow Ball. So you just never know how I'm going to approach that. And Mega Alakazam, it has an ability called Magic Guard before it evolves, so that I don't take rocks damage, I don't take poison damage, I don't take burn damage. And then when I Mega Evolve, I get the ability Trace. So I trace my opponent's abilities, which is amazing. If I trace Sheer Force or Protein, or obviously I'm not going to be tracing Protein unless there's a Kecleon, because I think Protein Greninja is banned in this tour. I'm just saying though, if it was available, just being able to trace any move is amazing. Adaptability, I traced Adaptability once with Mega Alakazam, and Psychic blew through my opponents, I'm telling you. Sheer Force is another one that's really nice, because a lot of Mega Alakazam's coverage moves have secondary effects, and having those boosted, 1.3, it's like a Mega Alakazam wearing a Life Orb, basically. It's insane, really. But yeah, I guess I talked about my squad a little bit, maybe over talked it a little bit. Just I'm excited, and I rambled about football and and the early gens that I missed, like gens 4 and 5 and stuff like that. But all in all, this is my Brawl for All team. I'm pretty excited about it. I haven't joined this tournament specifically before. I've known of it for a long time. I've wanted to join it a few times. I don't know who all's in it, who all's participating. I don't know. I don't really care. I just wanted to play. And I don't remember if I actually drafted with any top tier names or anything like that. But nonetheless, I'm super excited to play. I wasn't able to sign up for March Madness in time, and they had their qualifiers, and it was just a lot of confusion. So I just left the server and just left it. Like, I was already in a few other. I'm in. The CPC is ending this week. The week that I'm recording this. I'm recording this on February 7th. Thursday, February 7th, and the CPC is ending this week. The World Showdown Series is ending this week. Of course, playoffs are coming after. I'm definitely in playoffs for the CPC, potentially in playoffs for the World Showdown Series. I have to win my last game, and maybe some other things happen. The PBF and the NNDL are early in their seasons, and I'm doing some analyst work for the ITL, and then I have some leagues coming up around March or so, a little bit later. And I got the Draft League World Series going on. We're in season 1 of the actual the actual World Series now, and we've done a lot of speed tours and stuff like that. But I'm not trying to join any speed tours right now, because of just trying to focus on the Brawl for All, trying to focus on the Draft League World Series season 1 and all my other leagues, especially the ones that are coming up for playoffs right now. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So let me know what you guys think. Got plenty of Draft League content. If you guys like this sort of stuff, you definitely stay tuned, subscribe, like, all that stuff, share with your friends, whatever. But yeah, it's going to be it. So let me know what you guys think about the team. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.